So today we're sitting down with my friend and business partner Kevin, who has helped more than 500 people move to Dubai to talk about how people are getting rich in Dubai. We will talk about how our wealthy clients make money in Dubai and how they invest money in Dubai to get as rich as possible. And my goal here is to make this podcast as practical as possible to help you wherever you are, whether you're looking to move to Dubai or not, to get as rich as possible, basically based on what we have learned. Good to see you again, Kevin.
Yeah, good to be back. And like you mentioned, like 500 companies, yes, more than that. But actually, in terms of people, because all these companies have like 1, 2, 3 people, 4 people, even up to 6 in some cases, literally thousands of people. So in this podcast, I'm going to be giving you guys some of the kind of like tips and tricks that I've learned from all of these clients, thousands of people, like it's all in my head. So we'll give you a bit of value there, definitely a lot of value. So make sure to watch until the very end. And of course, if there's anything that interests you about this podcast, you can book a free call down below or check any resource that's shared down below.
And what many people don't know is that Genzone, Kevin's company, you also help people buy real estate here. I've started making real estate related videos on this channel as well, but many people still don't know this. So we'll talk about both of these things. So you help more than 500 people move to Dubai. Generally, what do these people do to make money?
So, and it's actually pretty funny because you'll notice that a lot of nationalities often do the same thing. Right. So a lot of people, and that's something that I just, started to realize more and more in the last year. A lot of people from the UK are usually consultants, IT consultants, a lot of recruiters, surprisingly, like they recruit high level people for companies, help you train your staff. But generally people from the UK are consultants. I've also seen a lot of ticket reselling people. That's actually a really common business that you maybe don't even know about.
Ticket reselling.
Yes, it's a super common business that a lot of people do. They'll buy tickets in bulk using bots and all these proxies to, buy them, and then they resell it on the market. So for example, when you hear the headlines, Taylor Swift sells out her concert in 10 seconds, it's because of these resellers.
Wow.
They buy all the tickets at once, they sell it. So that's one really popular business. I've seen a lot of people do that. Of course, a lot of people in e-commerce. I have clients who have their own brands or have drop shipping stores where they just resell other companies' products, or drop shipping, but they also make it kind of unique with their own customized branding, just to create their own kind of company based on somebody else's. So those are kind of like what I've seen. Of course, marketing as well. So paid ads management, influencer management, like that. These are like the most common businesses that I've seen. And yeah, for the UK, that's what they usually do. Canadians, I've seen them a lot in e-commerce, marketing, and consulting as well. And I guess for other countries like Sweden, I have a lot of clients from Sweden, Netherlands, all these countries. They're often in the marketing space as well. So yeah, you'll see a bunch of different things that people are doing.
Interesting. And what would you say are the top, like, let's say 3 nationalities that you have as clients?
Number 1 would definitely be the UK. And that's not really a surprise, to be honest with you. So number 1, the UK. Number 2, we'll have probably actually India, surprisingly. A lot of people wouldn't expect that, but yeah, I mean, if you come to Dubai, it's very easy to see that Indians love Dubai. And then number 3, I wouldn't say there's a specific country for number 3, but it would be a mix between like Canada, Australia, Netherlands, like Spain, France, all these countries. Like I'd say it's a mix between them. There's no main country for number 3.
Yeah, and out of these people who relocate to Dubai, obviously taxes are going to be a big reason that they're coming, but what are some of the main reasons that people usually bring up, like why they're relocating? Is it only tax benefits, or generally, what do people say, why are they relocating to Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, so to be honest with you, what I've noticed is, coming to Dubai is not just a tax move. Of course, you're going to save a lot of money in taxes, obviously. But when you come here, and on today's topic, you make more money by being here. Genuinely, you meet so many people that can help you grow your business or scale your business, whether it's a really good contact for marketing, you find a really good person for paid ads, or you meet a good business partner that can help you grow a business. So Dubai is just a great place for that. And of course, again, to go back on today's topic, investing, there's no better place to invest. If you have the money to buy an asset, Dubai is my favorite place to do that. Why? Because the return rates are incredible. And even if they aren't quote unquote incredible, let's say you got a bad deal, it's still incredible because it's tax free. So even an average investment is a great investment in another country. I was doing the math. I was looking at Canadian real estate. You can get something where maybe potentially you can get 10, 13% yields on a rental, but then you're paying so much in taxes. So that 13% isn't truly 13%. While in Dubai, you can get 13% plus no taxes. So it's really like a 15, 16%. And obviously all of our clients move to Dubai. Now, what about you though? Moving to Dubai, how has it helped you make more money?
Yeah, so it's interesting. When I moved to Dubai, it was mainly for like lifestyle and tax reasons. But what I didn't realize is like just how much being here or in a place like this can help me make more money. Like right now, I'm involved in a couple of different businesses, and at least two of them, and like pretty much two of the biggest ones right now, the main ones, I would not have if I hadn't met the business partners who I have here in Dubai. One of them, of course, is this one, Genzone. Like I'm your partner. This has become an amazing business for me. But it's obviously very related to Dubai, so it makes sense. But another one I now have, just a couple of days ago, we launched a software company because many people don't actually know this. I'm also a software engineer. I was a software engineer before I became an entrepreneur. So we've been working on this software with a business partner who, by the way, I would not have been able to do this without this business partner. And I met this business partner only because I was in Dubai. So now, like I just told you before we filmed this, we made $13,500 in one day. Like we closed the sales. That was the first batch of people we took in. And obviously no one knows what's going to happen with that, but that's now another business, another source of income I have because of the people that I've been able to meet here in Dubai. So there's like two ways that Dubai helps you make more money. The first thing is because now you no longer have to pay 50% or whatever in taxes. You instantly, just like that, you double your income basically. Because it doesn't matter how much you make, it matters how much you keep. But then on top of that, over a long period of time, because of the people you meet here, the opportunities you have, the top line will also go up. So it's like you have a double whammy.
I mean, like saving that money, like you mentioned, that's just one part of it, but you can meet these people. But another thing that we have to think about as well is because we have way more money saved, we can be a lot more aggressive in terms of the way we invest. Like I'm totally comfortable buying a new property every 3 months in Dubai. In Canada, I could never do that because you just can't, right? Here, you know that, okay, well, I'm saving so much money in taxes, and now I can invest way more. And, same thing for you. Maybe you wouldn't have launched that business or invested into the business if you didn't have that money saved. We have a nice, cushion. I call it like a fallback cushion where it's like, it's fine. I can invest into this, into that, into that. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It usually works out. But the point is we just have the opportunity to do that here. So, yeah. And I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm literally meeting someone tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to go meet him at Top Golf. I hurt my neck. I don't want to go golfing, but I'm going to go anyway. And this guy literally raised $36 million for a fund. And I'm going to go meet him. I just think about that like, oh, that's... For me, this is normal now, but like when you take a step back and you think about that, no, that is not normal. If I was in Canada, I would never meet someone who just raised $36 million for fun and wants to go for dinner or whatever, right?
And I would even add a third component to this, which is the motivation. So I divide my time roughly between Dubai, Southeast Asia. I mean, if you watch this channel, you know this. When I'm in Southeast Asia, when I'm in Bali, when I'm in Thailand, I feel like, I already have enough. There's not much more that I could like strive for that I can't already get in those places. And that's of course also good because it makes you perhaps feel more happy and things like this. But if you want to fulfill your potential, when you're in a place like Dubai where you see all of these people around you all the time, you see the supercars, you see like in my building, like when I take my car from my garage, I have to go up like 4 levels and I see like, I counted this one time, like whatever, 10, 20 supercars just in this one building where I live. And you realize like, damn, all these people who live in the same building as I do, in the same area as I do, they've done all of these things. Why can't I do it as well? It reminds you that there's so many different levels to the game, and it just pushes you so much harder to like look for these new opportunities, to like do more things, and to realize that, yeah, it's possible to do these things. If I had stayed in my hometown in Finland my entire life, there's no way I would have reached anywhere near the level where I am now, because it's not like you just don't see people doing well in certain places.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's pretty crazy how fast things can change too. Like, I'm sure you didn't expect to be where you are today 3 years ago. You did not expect that. But like just moving here, of course you moved here after finding your initial success, but like it just scales to another level. I agree with you. Like coming here, it motivates you. Like even you telling me that you launched this amazing software business, it motivates me even more, right? And I hear things like this every single day. I have over 500 companies that we've set up. I literally speak to these people on a daily basis, and they share their wins with me, and I hear all these things. And yeah, it really motivates you. But you don't have to be a business setup consulting company to hear these stories. Like you're not doing the operations, and you still see people succeeding. You see this stuff, you hear it from other people, you meet people at dinner, you meet them at events, and yeah, it just motivates you. So all good ideas stem from somewhere, and Dubai lets you know that it's possible, and you can do it yourself as well.
And I'm also curious, what's your story? Like when you moved to Dubai, like what kind of money? I mean, you don't have to say numbers if you don't want to, but like, why did you relocate here? How has being in Dubai helped you make more money and like things like this?
Yeah, so initially it was almost 100% a tax play, that we wanted to legally reduce our taxes. So at that point, we were making, you know how companies are. Like some months it can be 10K, some months it could be even 50K or 100K, right? In dollars, obviously. So at that point, once we started getting to the point where you're over 10K, immediately we were starting to look at the options of moving to another country where you can legally reduce your taxes. And then we moved to Dubai. Obviously, we founded Genzone over 3 years ago now, or around 3 years ago now, and it's we just went from there, and we just kept scaling the company. And obviously, we have a Dubai setup consulting company, so being in Dubai is a huge driving factor for us. But just being here and networking with so many people allowed us to not only being a regular setup consulting company, but in my opinion, we are the best consulting company, and I think people can agree with that as well. And being here and meeting all these different contacts allowed us to be that best company. We're not just the best company because I say I'm the best company. It's because when we're here, we met incredible people that we're able to collaborate with, work with, and just build a really nice, I call it like a Rolodex of, people that I know that can always assist me. It's funny, but if you ask me, Kevin, do you have a contact for this? I do have a contact for this. Do you have a contact for that? I do have a contact for that. I have all these people that just enhance the quality of the service that we provide people.
It's funny. Every time I message you, like, yo, what do you think about this? I need to do this thing for my business. You're like, yeah, I know a guy. Like, just I'll hook you up. And obviously, all of our clients will benefit from that.
Yeah.
And also congratulations. I heard you were awarded. What was it? Fastest growing Dubai setup company.
Yes.
In the UAE.
Yes.
Which is insane because that's obviously not even our goal.
No.
Our goal is quality over quantity. Yet still, I mean, the word gets out. People realize about the quality. But yeah, that's amazing.
It's honestly, I was shocked when I heard it. Like genuinely, like they told me, and I was like, "What? Really?" Because like on our booking forms, like we have our price, which is not the cheapest on the market, right? We don't just hide prices. We tell people the pricing upfront. This is the price, and because of that, of course, we get a lot less clients. But even with that, we still managed to be the fastest growing, which is kind of crazy. Like you said, of course, people just have a good experience. The word spreads, and that's just how it grows. Our testimonials are there, our Google reviews are there. Everyone's happy. So, I mean, yes, it wasn't our goal. Maybe next year we won't reach that target since again now we're a really big company technically, so it's going to be harder to grow. Compared to what we were the previous year. But I'm super happy to get that award.
Yeah, and so out of these people who you help, do you have any like people who are like the most interesting clients you've helped, or like what are the wealthiest people you've helped, and what do they do exactly? And like, can you tell?
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. So I have a few people that come to mind right away. One client from Canada, I won't say his name, but he moved to Dubai and he was in crypto, or he is in crypto. So that's actually probably my number one wealthiest client. He's a crypto guy. He has a crypto design firm. So he's not necessarily launching tokens and stuff like that. But back when NFTs were a huge thing, he essentially helped companies launch their projects and their, even Donald Trump released NFTs. I don't know if you know this, but like, so he made a lot of money with that, and then he moved to Dubai. So he's over $25 million net worth. And he's a young guy too. He's like 30 years old. So that's one person. I have other clients. The wealthier ones are usually in e-commerce. They have, pretty nice brands, whether they're selling soccer shin pads. I have a client, his company's name is Holga. Shout out to you, Zach, amazing company. So he sells shin pads, and his company grew really well. And now even Cristiano Ronaldo's son promoted his products. Wow. So yeah, congrats to him. Really, really cool company. And I have a lot of other clients who also are in e-commerce that have, really, really cool companies. And then I also have a lot of consultants that sell programs and mentorships, and you would be surprised, they make a lot of money as well, even over $10 million per year, selling mentorships and programs like this. And I mean, of course, they're delivering good value. So that's usually what I see.
And it also makes you realize that there's so many different ways to make money as well. People have an idea like, oh, it's just like some crypto bros in Dubai. Like, no, there's like so many different ways people make money, and they come here because now it's so easy to earn from anywhere. Like, we're sort of shifting into what I call the age of internet. Before, we were in this age where it was like the American dream, where if you want to make money, you should be in America because that's where the jobs are. But now we're moving into this era where you can really earn from anywhere. So you have like the internet dream. I'm talking about this in one video that's coming up, which leads to the fact that countries now have to compete a lot more because people can be anywhere. So people are just naturally going to start shifting to the place that have the best lifestyle, the best taxes, obviously, because now, like, in terms of your income, in terms of your net earnings, the biggest driving factor is going to be where can you pay the lowest tax. Obviously, people are going to look for safety, and it's certain places in the world, mainly outside of the West, such as UAE and Singapore, like other places, who have realized this, who will be like, okay, let's just make this place as good as possible for this new age of like internet entrepreneurs and people who can earn from anywhere. And this is why we're seeing this massive shift of people moving specifically to the UAE and like leaving the West.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. But I mean, it makes sense.
But you don't only work with super wealthy people, right? So what would you say is the average income of the people you have as clients?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a great question. So on average, I'd say that people are making between $80,000. That's like on the lower end, because at that point taxes are starting to hurt you. And then on the higher end, for the average, it's around $400,000. But most of our clients are making around $100K to $200K per year. So you don't have to be rich to invest in real estate in Dubai or move to Dubai. You just have to make enough money for it to make sense financially in terms of, the tax savings. Going back, actually, I was thinking while you're talking, I was thinking about some of my clients, like, what do they do when they come here? That's actually something that a lot of people wonder. Like, what do you do with all this wealth that you're moving to another country? So literally all of the clients that I mentioned, all of my highest net worth clients, they buy real estate. There's none that have not bought real estate. They literally all buy real estate. Whether it's villas, whether it's apartments, townhouses, they buy real estate. That's literally what they all have done. I have one client, actually, he's flying in. He's from Spain. And he told me, Kevin, I'm coming to Dubai. I'm moving my whole family here. I have an open checkbook. I don't care how much I spend. I just want to start investing in real estate in Dubai. And it was eye-opening to me because this guy literally told me, I want to get 10 properties and I want to get one for me and my family to live in. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like, what are your requirements? And he was telling me his requirements. I want this many bedrooms and it needs to be on the beach. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So like you're looking to invest how much? And he told me, yeah, I'm looking to invest around 30 million, 40 million. And I'm like, oh, 30, 40 million dirhams. Yeah, that's a good budget. We can get you something nice. And he told me, no, euros. And I was like, what? 30 million euros? That's insane. And that's just one property. Like he has, the capacity to invest in way more things. So that's just one client. Of course, if you're looking to invest in real estate in Dubai, you don't have to buy these 30 million euro properties. But the other investors that I've seen, they'll buy, and this guy as well, by the way, he's not just going to buy 30 million euro villas. He's buying a ton of one-bedroom apartments, and he's just going to put them all on Airbnb and generate a ton of passive income. And that's literally what everyone else did. Now, also to mix in with his investments, he's going to buy off-plan properties as well. So the reason being is you just don't have to put as much money up front. So he's not just going ready properties, he's also going off-plan. Why would someone go off-plan? Number one, you don't have to put up all the money up front. You just have to follow a simple payment plan, which you don't even have to qualify for anything to be eligible to get this off-plan property. You just have to make the payments. If you want to do it, you can do it. That's it. So the benefit is that don't put up the money up front. You don't have to qualify for it. Plus, of course, on average, if you get a proper off-plan investment, the appreciation should actually outweigh the rental yields of a ready property on the market. So that's why a lot of people love off-plan, and it's so hot here. Everyone is selling off-plan properties and everyone is buying off-plan properties because it's just so attractive right now. But you have to be really careful. I know we were talking about, specific areas and specific projects that might not have that appreciation that would outweigh For example, rental yields. But if you do it properly, you're gonna make a ton of money with off-plan investments. You just have to be careful.
Yeah, so this now brings us nicely to the second topic of today, which is investing in Dubai. And so you said now two properties. One of them is off-plan, one of them is ready.
Yeah.
Correct. Can you explain the process for both of these? So for off-plan and for ready, like what does it actually look like to buy a property in Dubai?
Yeah, so we bought a one-bedroom apartment in Dubai off plan. So that was our first investment. The process was so simple, honestly. When you're buying something off plan, it's literally around 30 minutes to complete everything. All you have to do is just, well, it depends. If the property is ready for you to actually put your down payment right away, then yes, you can do that. Otherwise, what a lot of people have to do first is just put an EOI, which is an expression of interest, because so many projects here are really like hot and so popular that you can't even just get a guaranteed allocation. You have to express your interest first in advance to get the chance to even have the opportunity to select something. For example, I had a client, he bought a townhouse in Denmark Islands, actually from your channel. And he really wanted it. So what we did was we put an EOI, I think around 3 weeks before the actual launch of the project, so that we could actually get an allocation. So the EOI was around 100,000 dirhams. The property value was around 2.4 million dirhams, something like that, for a townhouse, which is so cheap.
Yeah.
And then once the time to actually select the property came around, it was insane. Literally, we had about 5 minutes to select the property. It was just so busy. The max sold over 10 billion dirhams worth of real estate in, I think, 24 hours. Incredible numbers. But we got that property. After he bought the property, he had to sign the SPA and make the deposit. The down payment, so around 25%. And actually, he wasn't inside of the country at any time during this stage. He's not in the country. He's actually in South Africa. So right now, he's doing that. And of course, now he just has to follow his payment plan. So every time the payments are due, make the payment and just keep going until the property finally hands over. Normally with off-plan properties, the payment plans vary. Some of them can be, you have to pay 70% during the construction. Some of them could be 50% during the construction and then the rest at the handover. With this one specifically, it was 70% during construction and 30% on handover once the property is actually ready. So it's pretty straightforward with off-plan. You just need the passport or Emirates ID if you're a resident and make the payments. That's literally it. When you're buying something ready, it's a little bit more time consuming and you need to be careful because of course, it's a big investment and you're investing everything up front. So you can either pay for the property in cash or you can get a mortgage. There's two different options, obviously. If you're paying in cash, pretty straightforward. You can pay just with a manager's check. Essentially, the bank removes the money from your bank account and issues you a check against that to say, okay, this check is going to go towards the property. You put it in the person's name. You pay the fees, done. If you're getting a mortgage, you have to qualify for this. If you're non-resident, you can qualify, if you're living in another country, but it's a little bit difficult and you only qualify for up to 50% normally. If you're actually living in Dubai, if you work for a company, you can qualify for 80%. Even if it's your own company, you can qualify for 80%. That's what I did. We have our own business here, of course, self-employed, but I still qualified for an 80% loan. So that was fantastic. I'm still going to pay off around 50 to 60%, to be honest, like right away.
Yeah.
But great that I qualified for that. So what happens, you pick the property you want. Once you pick the property you want, then with a mortgage buyer, you're going to have to complete evaluation. So the bank is going to go and evaluate the property. So for example, in my case, they came back, they said, okay, this property is worth 1.8 million. So now the bank is going to create the final offer letter. And then essentially, I know it gets a little complicated, but basically a lot of fun paperwork happens. You don't have to worry about that. Like the team will take care of that for you. And later, then you just have to transfer the property into your name. So we go and transfer it and I hand the payments to the seller and that's it. And I have another client actually, he just bought a property as well. Super simple. He was a cash buyer, literally just money in the bank account. Generated a manager's check, of course, will help with the entire process. Hand the manager's check to the seller, pay the DLD fees, which are 4% when you're buying anything in the UAE. Even if it's off plan, you still have to pay 4%. And then you pay like the agency fees, and that's it. So pretty straightforward. You just need to make sure that you're buying the right property, you're buying in the right area, and you're not paying a really high price, because once you actually commit to a property, even before doing the valuation, you cannot back out of it unless it's like written in the terms. So it's really important to do things properly. Like, let's say you found a property that you really liked. It was 1.6 million on the listing, and you paid 1.6 million, or you offered 1.6 million and you signed the contract for that. And then you went to the bank does the valuation, and it comes back at 1.2 million. You got ripped off, right? What's going to happen now? Well, you're going to have to come up with a difference with your own cash. So that's why it's really important to know the markets you're investing in, so you don't make that kind of mistake, so that you don't want to get screwed over. So
And I heard that the process to get a mortgage while you were able to qualify was a very long process.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes, very long process. Like, I explained it in the way where it was like, yeah, I just got a mortgage, that's it. No, that's not it. We've had a company here for around 3 years now. We're obviously a large company, so we have a lot of turnover, which definitely helped our case. Our mortgage was actually simply based on the fact that we had a higher turnover. They didn't even look at their personal statements with the specific bank where I did my application with. And then you also you should have like audited financials, ideally. High turnover. I mentioned that. What's a high turnover? At least around 4 million dirhams you should have, per year at least, to show that you have some real business going on, and you're not just going to go bust and not pay your mortgage, because the bank is loaning a lot of money out. They want to make sure that you pay your mortgage. So what I found is a lot of our clients, after they move to Dubai, they'll qualify for 50% in the best case, and then what will happen is, they'll decide, okay, you know what, I don't want to put up 50% of my own money. I'll just buy something off plan and rent in the meantime. That's what most of our clients actually end up doing. I have a lot of clients that fly here thinking they're buying something ready, and then after they actually do the math and realize maybe buying ready is not actually for me, maybe buying off plan is easier for me. Less cost up front. It's an easy process. You don't have to qualify for anything. You don't have to go for a mortgage. You don't have to worry about getting a tenant. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to worry about making your payments. That's
With
literally
a
it.
payment plan, with an off plan, you essentially get a free 0% mortgage without needing to qualify. Obviously, you need to pay off sooner or but like you, me as well. If I were to get a mortgage, I would pay it off like quite quickly anyway. So it's really, with the offline, it's so much simpler the process. That's why, I haven't still decided which one I'm doing. Probably eventually I'll do both at some point. But there's a huge benefit of off plan, right? You don't have to put up 100% straight away, but you also don't have to deal with all these banks and their like the requirements and documents and like months of paperwork just to qualify for a mortgage.
Yeah.
Which you might never even qualify for
Yeah,
if they don't
exactly.
like you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
It took us like 2 years to qualify for the mortgage.
Crazy.
It's a funny story actually, because we were just misguided. Same way some people get misguided with business setup, right? We were misguided with mortgages too. And it literally, I wish I could have bought 2.5 years ago, but all these different agents were telling me, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. And then once it was time to do the application, they said, oh, but you forgot to do this, but you didn't tell me this, right? So it was actually funny. I was supposed to invest in the market back in, I guess, 2022. That was our goal, or 2023 actually. And now we're in 2025 after the market has, of course, appreciated so much. I'm finally getting into the market now. So we bought a property last year, and I'm buying the property now. I'm actually finally closing on it now. Going through the mortgage process, not quick. Of course, when you have someone in the property as well, are they going to vacate the property? This is another thing, right? Buying a ready property is, I call it like a sexy investment, because it's ready, right? It's already there. But at the same time, it's not, because there's so many issues that can come along with it. Maybe there's damages to the property that you don't know. Maybe I'm going to realize, oh, behind all those drawers, there's a huge hole in the wall that I didn't see, and maybe I should have checked better. But, there's only so much you can do. But another concern is like vacating the property. You need to make sure that, like, okay, is this person actually going to leave? Was there a notice already issued to this tenant to leave the property? When was it issued? When is it actually going to come into place? So there's so many different things like that, that just with an offline property, you don't have to deal with any of that. It's literally just not move in, make the payments, and when it's ready, you can move in. But one thing that a lot of people don't actually keep in mind is the best time to sell your off plan is once it's actually finished. And I hear a lot online, like people saying, yeah, just buy the off plan and sell it 3 months later. That's very difficult to do. I'll be very honest with you. It's really difficult to do. Usually, if you're going to sell 3 months later or 2 months later, it will be at a loss. So what most people do is they just hold it until it's ready, because of course now it's ready. There's technically no more risk. The property is built. And what you can do is you can sell it right before it hands over. There's a lot of buyers that are interested in that. I have a lot of clients who don't necessarily want to pay the full amount of a ready property and don't want to move in right away either. Like I had a client, he came in from he was from the UK actually, and he came in. He was checking properties, and he's like, "Yeah, Kevin, like all these properties look good, but I'm actually coming to Dubai in like 7 months from now." And I was like, what if we could find it now off plan for you, and a project straight from the developer that hands over in 7 months from now? Would you be interested in that? And he was like, "Yeah, definitely." So we showed him some good projects, and just like that, he was able to get a ready property that was off plan because it was kind of like almost ready, but it was just still off plan, right? So the benefit for him was he just didn't need to put up all the money up front and still benefited from some appreciation in the meantime, or will benefit, I guess, from some appreciation in the meantime while it's being, built. So you don't have to get something off plan directly from the launch date. Ideally, you do because that's when you get the best price. But you can also get something while it's actually in construction. Developers often, sometimes, have leftover units. Maybe it's a premium unit, that's why it didn't sell, or maybe who knows? There's always a reason. Maybe someone canceled their payments. You can cancel your off plan. If you don't want to make the payments, you can just cancel that as well, right? So there's always situations like this that come up on the market. And working with like a broker like us, for example, we can always tell like these people like, hey, amazing opportunity just came up, distressed deal. This off plan, this off plan has a really good price. There's always new opportunities. Yeah.
And there's obviously many different developers that you can buy from. In your experience, from what you know, what are the best developers in Dubai to buy a property from, in your opinion?
Yeah, so best is obviously subjective, like what best? In terms of construction, I would say that there are a few that are pretty nice. Like Ellington has good construction quality, although the price is expensive. Imar is usually very consistent. Yeah, to be honest with you, there's a lot of those. Shoba is good as well. Technically, they're number one in terms of quality, but quality doesn't mean aesthetically pleasing. In my opinion, Soba is not the most beautiful always, but they have really nice projects as well in terms of style sometimes. Each project is always different. So maybe one day Imar is the best, and then the next day Damak is the best. For construction quality, those that I just named are good. For return, I have to say that like it's super it's super different based on the project. I can say with confidence that like Damak projects always have good returns from what I've seen. They've always had good returns. Imar, of course, always had good returns. So those are probably and those are the two biggest ones on the market. Like Imar is number one, Damak is number two. So I mean, it makes sense, right? You just follow the money. That's where people are investing. They're investing there for a reason.
And if people are looking to buy a property, let's say for rental yields, are there certain areas that have higher rental yields than others? And what are some of the top areas someone should look at for rental yields in Dubai?
Yeah, great question. So that's super important to keep in mind because when you're investing into something, you need to know what you're going to make at the end of the day, right? So I'd say the best areas for rental yields would be like JVC. They can get you really good returns there. It's just super high. The branding of JVC is fantastic. Al Farjan is good as well. You can get, so for these two areas, you can get easily over 7%, 8%. If you put on a holiday home, that just skyrockets. And then you can also rent and get good yields in Business Bay. Business Bay is a fantastic area, especially for holiday home. If you've ever been to Dubai before, or if you've ever thought about moving to Dubai or vacationing to Dubai, you'll go on Google or Airbnb and you'll write Burj Khalifa and you'll look at what's around Burj Khalifa. That's what most people do. And the reason why Business Bay is a really nice point is because no tourist really knows the difference between Business Bay and downtown because it's literally there's no difference. It's like right beside each other. There is a difference, of course, but it's like the same thing. So Business Bay is a really good place to get some rental yields as well. And the prices, of course, the rental yields are high because the prices aren't extremely high. Downtown, you can get good yields as well. Marina, it's kind of hit or miss in Marina. You can probably notice that some buildings can even have like a 2% rental yield, while some of them can even have 8, 9, 10%. So it's not just the area. Of course, the area is important, but generally, all the areas in Dubai are pretty good for rental yields. I don't think there's one bad area. Even the ones further away, you can still get good rental yields there. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I was doing the numbers at one point and I was looking at the entire world basically. I'm looking to buy in Dubai, not just because I'm in Dubai, but because the numbers actually make sense. If you like look at places, obviously there's other places where you can get high rental yields, but then you're maybe sacrificing on other things. Like it might be a very developing market. There's a lot more uncertain where you don't have a lot of like certainty and data and protection. In Dubai, everything is like very protected. I heard somewhere that the entire Dubai real estate, like the contracts and everything, are like in blockchain and everything. Like you have so much data available. Like you can see the numbers before you buy. It's quite a mature market at this point, but still the yields are quite high. And some people are saying like, oh, the market is a bubble. But if you actually look at like rents are going up, like so the property prices are going up, but rents are going up as well, and even sometimes faster than the property prices. So that shows that there is still a lot of demand. And the demand is even outpacing the supply still, despite how much supply there is, because there's so many people moving to Dubai right now. New projects we're building, and again, like we're both putting our money where our mouth is. Like we're actually buying. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Like literally, because the government has so much control here, if they don't want it to crash, they can make it not crash because they're very smart. In other countries where it's like a totally free market, like in the US, where everyone was just able to freely lend out money like crazy and do this and do that and have all these different financial products and kind of mess around with what shouldn't be messed around, that can create, a disaster. Here it's more controlled. Of course, there's some things you can't control, like people leaving the country. If there's a mass exodus, of course, you can't control that. But what we've been seeing, and it's pretty clear that people are not leaving Dubai. They're coming to Dubai. Yeah. Number one place for millionaires. Number one place for probably not millionaires as well, like pre-millionaires. We never got the data for that. But of course, like it's not just if millionaires are moving here. Most of our clients are not millionaires, by the way. Most of our clients make maybe $100,000 to $300,000 to $400,000 per year. Of course, we have higher earners, but that's like the average, and these people are buying real estate as well. Someone making $200K per year is easily buying one property per year on average. From what I'm seeing from my clients alone, they're buying these properties. So and these people, again, they don't need to sell them either. So if there is something that does happen in the future, they're just going to hold it. They're not going to sell the properties. They don't need to sell the properties. It's not like everyone is buying with a mortgage here, because they're not. They're usually cash buyers. So that's another really good thing about Dubai. If there is any issues in the future, everyone was a cash buyer. I think 3% of all transactions were mortgage purchases in the UAE. Yeah. Wow. And that actually shows you that, most people are paying in cash. And one more positive thing to keep in mind as well is the number of mortgage purchases has gone up. Why is this a good thing? Because it's showing a trend of people really building a life here and building, something where you can actually qualify for a mortgage. Like they're not just coming in, buying the property cash. They're actually coming in, staying here, living here, working for companies here, really moving here to qualify for a mortgage. When you see a country get more and more purchases with mortgages, it's a positive sign.
And I also looked at those numbers as well. When you had the US financial crisis, for example, you mentioned like they were playing with all these financial products, creating these crazy loans with like people who should never be able to get a bank loan were getting loans with like you can get 5% down or something like that. In the UK at one point they were talking about adding a 1% down mortgage because people should just be able to afford to buy a house. Here it's quite conservative.
Yeah.
So it kind of like you mentioned, it was difficult to get a mortgage. So you might have to pay a lot down, have a large down payment. That of course sucks for you in the moment as an investor, but for the whole market, because the banks are quite conservative and they don't allow you to just lend crazy amounts of money, it makes the system a lot more stable and it makes it a lot less likely that some kind of a financial crash like that would happen. And that's actually an underrated thing that I don't hear many people talking about. And I've looked at the financial statements of the banks in the UAE, compared it to the banks in the US.
Love it.
And like, they're a lot better. Like they're a lot safer in terms of their like capital adequacy ratios and things like this, because they are quite conservative. And the UAE has of course been a financial hub for a very long time.
And like, to agree with you, why, like, I understand that people want to own real estate, but it's not your right to own real estate.
Absolutely not.
It's not like, oh, I deserve to own a property because I am a person. No, that's not how it works. Like you have to like qualify for it. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. It's not like a Me Too thing. Like, oh, I bought one. Oh yeah, me too. No, qualify for it and then you can get it. If you don't qualify for it, it's going to cause you issues. Like for my own example, to give you kind of some understanding, what I qualified for is not what I can afford. I can afford way more than what I qualified for. Mm-hmm. But because it's so conservative, that's all I was able to get. But to be honest with you, it's a good thing. It's going to allow me to get this, first ready property, get it under my belt. And then, and I'm going to pay off 50 to 60% right away. I didn't mention why. Why am I going to do that? Because I'm going to get another mortgage after that. So I'll pay around 50, 60% and then qualify for another 50 to 80% loan and just keep repeating that. And then the beauty is in my own situation, and what most of my clients do as well, we're not really highly leveraged. So the risk is very low and you're always able to afford any downturns or anything like that that does happen. Like once you pay 50 to 60%, or 70%, your mortgage payments are very, very, very small. Especially if you can, of course, I can easily afford it now, and after paying 60 to 80%, I can even more easily afford it, right? So that's what I'm personally doing. So buying off plan, and I'm buying ready properties, and we're just gonna keep that ball rolling. Our business partners are gonna do that as well, and I think what we're also going to start offering. Not right now, but yes, we have a real estate brokerage, but we're also going to start a holiday homes company in the next 12 months. That's the goal. And of course, we're going to have all these properties that not only are owned by us, but also owned by our clients. So for example, your property, or you set up a business with us, you buy a property with us, we'll rent it to our own clients. Why is that a good thing? And why do I love this idea? Because the number one threat to any real estate investor is not that the property market will go down, it's just not being able to rent out your property, especially on holiday home. People always look at the metrics like how many days per month is it rented out. If it's rented out by our company Genzone and we rent it to our own clients, and of course plus put it on Airbnb as well, I'm 99% sure we're going to have a 100% occupancy rate. So all of our clients are going to benefit from that. It's like a win. You get a good property, you set up your business in Dubai, you move your whole family here, you move here alone as well if you are alone, and your investments are generating good returns. So it's like a win-win-win.
So just to end this off, so what can you offer to someone who's watching this if they want to buy property in Dubai? What does the process look like if they choose to work with you?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. We generally offer everything in terms of helping you get set up in Dubai, setting up your company, or if you're not setting up a company, helping you get your residency in Dubai, whether it's through a company or through real estate. So we'll help you pick the property. We'll help you actually make the purchase. We'll help you prepare the financing for it as well. If required, mortgage as well. We can assist with this. Literally everything. And we don't just do it in a way where it's like, Mr. Go figure it out yourself. It's all done for you, which is so valuable. And like even me, myself, buying my first ready property and off-plan property, there were so many questions that I had that just went unanswered, and I had to answer it myself with my own research. And basically, we're going to provide a service to people that they don't have to be alone. We're going to be there to help them make a good investment and do it easily. So that's basically what we're looking to do. And of course, in the future, in around 6 months from now, let's see if we execute on that. We should have a property management company, either Genzone Holiday Homes or another partner that we begin a company with to rent out these properties for our clients that purchase.
Thank you again for coming to the channel, Kevin. Always a pleasure. And if you want to see another interview where we talk more in detail about exactly how you can move to Dubai, if you're looking to move to Dubai, set up a company, pay 0% tax, how that whole process works, you can watch this video right here. So watch that video next, and I'll see you in the next one.